So with all that's going on, how do we protect ourselves and our families? Well, to answer some of those questions, let's go to Dr. Jen Caudle, a family physician, joining me now from Philadelphia. Doctor, obviously different parts of the country experiencing different levels of severity. If someone is in one of those harder hit cities, what steps should they take?
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about a lot of things lately, and social distancing is one of the words we're hearing a lot. That is super important. That is this idea of staying at least 6 feet away from others, especially those who are ill, and avoiding large crowds and groups. Now, understandably, many cities throughout the country have actually already put sort of limitations on the size of groups people can be in, which is a good thing. But social distancing is honestly one of the best things that you can do. Avoid handshaking, touching, close contact, making sure that we're washing our hands, staying home when we're sick, using hand sanitizer when we don't have access to soap and water. These are all things that we can do to help us.
Right. And should parents, maybe think about testing their children if they see some sort of symptoms that are related to what we've seen with coronavirus, or are children immune?
That's a great question. So you're probably referring to the fact that we keep hearing that older individuals over the age of 60, and especially over the age of 80, and those with weakened immune systems tend to have the most severe consequences for coronavirus. While that may be true, we can't forget that anyone can get coronavirus. That's including children. So while children don't tend to suffer from major consequences, they do get it. And when they get it, the good thing is, of course, when they get it, they tend to have mild symptoms, but they can spread it to other people, including those that are most vulnerable. What I would say to anyone who thinks they may have symptoms of coronavirus, or they're not sure whether it's a parent regarding their child or elsewhere, you need to call your doctor's office. Don't just show up to an office, or don't just show up to the ER, because we don't want to expose people if you have it. But call your doctor, run your symptoms by them, and say, hey, do I need a test? What do I need to do? What's my next step of action?
Right. What do you make of all the closures we've seen? School closings, games being canceled, leagues canceling their entire season. Is that an overreaction, or are these prudent steps?
It's not an overreaction at all. I know it seems drastic. I know it seems severe, extreme. And I'm a physician, and the first time I heard that, sports teams were closing their doors, and public places and schools, I was like, oh my gosh. But the truth of the matter is, the best way to get ahead of this, right? We're in a pandemic state. The way that we get ahead of this virus and slow down the spread of the virus is we keep people apart. Because the main way that we get and give this virus is through close contact, the spread of respiratory droplets when we're within 6 feet of one another, from an infected person to one that's not infected. That's the main way this is spread. So we've got to keep our distance from one another to slow down the spread of the virus. That's why the school closings, as extreme as it may seem, and all these other closings that we're seeing, that's why it's actually not extreme, that it's appropriate.
Got it. Remind us again the symptoms that we should be looking out for coronavirus.
Sure. Well, the 3 hallmark symptoms are fever, shortness of breath, and cough. However, you can actually have some additional symptoms that may make you think you have a cold or the flu, like body aches or nasal congestion, stuffy nose, things like that, maybe some GI symptoms. But the hallmarks are fever, shortness of breath, and cough. I would say, this is a tough period of year, because not only did this coronavirus come at a time when that overlapped with flu season, but it's now overlapping with allergy season. So a lot of people are experiencing symptoms. I've had patients that are just not sure what's going on. And in that situation, that's why I say, hey, give us a call, run things by us, and we'll talk you through what needs to happen.
All right. I think your phone's going to start ringing pretty soon there, Dr. Caudle. Thank you for the information and the advice. Good to know that we've got doctors who are separating fact from fiction. Thanks so much.
Thank you.